My brothers and sisters, the Lord is with you.
And also with you.
We continue listening to God speak to us from the Gospel in the tradition of Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
At that time, Jesus exclaimed, I give you praise, Father, Lord of heaven and earth. For although you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to the little ones. Yes, such has been your gracious will. All things have been handed to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light. And this is the gospel, good news of our salvation.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
By the words of the gospel, may our sins be blotted out.
Amen.
You're up, Ted. You're up.
As often as I hear this section of Matthew's Gospel or read it myself, that last piece that, come to me all you who are labored and find life burdensome, and I will give you rest, always resonates with me. And I equate that with the Feast of the Sacred Heart. That whole idea of coming to the Lord, finding rest for your souls. Did you pay the bill this month?
Oh, it's too hot.
Oh, I see. Anyway. I reflected on that word burden. And burden, it seems to be so many different kinds of things that we carry. Obviously, burden could be something that we actually physically carry. I have to carry something like a burden, a package, a bundle, whatever it might be. I carry a bundle of emotions because of something that has taken place in my life. I have physical burdens that I have to bear. I am suffering with cancer. I have arthritis. I have other ailments that plague me. I have the burden of the health or the welfare of my family and my friends. I have spiritual burdens because I still can't put my faith in a God which I'm not sure exists. And so when we use the word burden, we use it in so many ways, and it has so many ramifications in our lives. But a burden is something that weighs down upon us. I remember in counseling, when you deal with someone and they come to you with a particular problem, and you explain to them, or you work with them and you walk with them, and all of a sudden they have this breakthrough, and all of a sudden they feel so light. You have removed a burden from me. And it's like a physical weight has been lifted off of their shoulders. And then I reflect upon the people that Jesus was speaking to. The poor, the outcast, the marginalized, those individuals who found life burdensome because they were poor, that they had to go out and work their day to buy their daily bread, so that tomorrow they could get up and do the same thing. They were burdened under the pressures of an occupation by a foreign country, having to pay taxes to this country, regardless of how you were going to pay. They had the burden of being exiled from their own religion because of the fact of their occupation. If they were shepherds, they were not righteous people. If they were poor and could not read, then they could not read the scriptures. They were ignorant of God's law. And so they found themselves being ostracized from left to right, up and down. And Jesus says to them, if you find life burdens, come to me and I will refresh you. I will take that burden away from you and I will give you rest. But he says, take upon your shoulders my yoke. Take upon the shoulders my responsibility. Become one with me. In recent years, we've seen this return to ancient agricultural practices. Instead of using tractors, many people now are going back to yoke of oxen. And we see in the Midwest and in other places more countrified than we, that they have oxen pulls and they have contests of yokes of oxen, pair of oxen, performing a variety of tasks. And they are awarded blue ribbons, money, whatever it might be. But when you look at these animals working together under that yoke, you see that one animal might find it difficult, but two animals working together makes that job, that task, that much lighter. And using those analogies that people understood, Jesus is saying, be my partner, take upon yourself that yoke which I share, so that the burden will become lighter. So the task will not be so monumental. And I will give you rest. I will give you refreshment. For my yoke is easy. My burden is light. Because it is shared. It's something that is shared between you and another person. And when you have someone who is sharing your burden, it makes it that much lighter, that much easier to carry. As we read these words, we find ourselves wondering of our own burdens, our own tasks in life, whether they be physical, spiritual, financial, whatever it might be. And sometimes we don't like to tell people our problems. Sometimes our pride gets in the way. But because of that pride, we fail to understand that we just might be turning away the answer that God is sending us. To share that burden with someone who cares. To share that burden with someone who can help us. To share that burden so it is not as heavy as it once was. But sometimes our pride gets in the way, because when I depend upon another person, I am not in control. And even when it comes to allowing God into our lives, we turn away because I am not in control. I cannot do what I want or what I think is right because God is in my way. And I find myself fighting for the steering wheel and God saying, let me do the driving, and you're saying, no, I know better than you. And in doing so, we create a false reality. We create a false reality in our lives because it's not the one that God has created for us. And so the burdens of our life become that much more difficult because of the fact we are not only dealing with a burden, but we're fighting the reality that God is there and is willing to help us, and yet we turn away and we think we can do it all by ourselves. Learn from me. Learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart. I don't want to take your control away. I want you to be able to control your lives, and I want to help you do it. I don't want to take anything from you. I want to give you something. I want to give you the support you need. I'm going to give you the help you need. I'm going to give you whatever it is that you need to attend the task at hand. And yet, we turn away. And we say, thanks, but no thanks. And so God says, okay, have it your way. Have it your way. Maybe tonight, as we contemplate these words, these beautiful words, it's almost pleading that Jesus has in his voice. I can just imagine, come to me. I have the answer. I have the water refreshment. I have what you need. Come to me. Come to me. Let me give you rest. It's almost a pleading that the Lord is offering these people around him, is offering us. Come to me, please. I've got the answer. And yet, for whatever reason, we don't do that. Christianity is not a forced thing. It's a choice. It's saying yes. It's saying yes to what I hope and believe is true. But I have to give it at least that yes. Let me try. Let me try to see if this is the answer. Let me try to see if this is the way I should go. But sometimes our pride, our stubbornness gets in that way, and we find ourselves turning our backs on the one who could help us the most. So tonight, as we once again listen to this plea, let us come to the Lord in humility and say, Lord, I can't do it by myself. But as your saints have often said, with God, everything is possible. Amen.
Amen.